We end tonight with one of the most extraordinary close encounters we've ever seen in the deep.
Have you?
Yeah.
No big, I think.
What was that? There's a shark! There's a shark in the water!
When we imagine gigantic reptiles from prehistoric times, the T-Rex often springs to mind first. However, dinosaurs weren't the only giants of their era. The oceans of old were vast shadowy realms, teeming with enormous and fearsome creatures. From mysterious creatures believed to still roam the Earth's oceans to the most formidable predators of the ancient seas, here are the 20 biggest Megalodon enemies that ever existed. Number 20. Leviathan Whale. Behold Leviathan, the gigantic prehistoric sperm whale that killed other whales. Even Megalodon was afraid of this creature. Leviathan melvillei is an extinct species of odontocete cetacean belonging to the superfamily Physeteroidea, known from different fossils found on the coast of the Pacific Ocean in what is now Peru and Chile. Its fossils were found for the first time in the desert of the Pisco ecoregion, in rocks dating from 9.9 to 8.9 million years ago. Fossil remains of 75% of the skull and large fragments of the jaws were found, as well as several teeth. The largest measured 36 centimeters in length, much longer than the teeth of the current sperm whale. Its skull was about 3 meters long, and its total length must have been between 13.5 and 17.5 meters. Later, teeth of the species were reported in the Bahia Inglesa Formation in Chile, measuring 12 centimeters in diameter and 36 centimeters long. The current cetacean most similar to Leviathan melvillei is the sperm whale, although one of the main differences is that Leviathan had teeth in both jaws. It is assumed that it was an aggressive predator and possibly cohabitated, and perhaps fought, with another apex predator, Carcharocles megalodon, which could have been up to 16 meters in length. Number 19. Mosasaurus. Who would win in a fight, the Mosasaurus or the Megalodon? Well, the answer seems pretty obvious. Mosasaurus is an extinct genus of mosasaurid sauropsids that lived during the Maastrichtian in the Cretaceous period, between 70 to 66 million years ago, in the area of present-day Western Europe, North America, South America, and Antarctica. The largest known species of this genus is Mosasaurus hoffmanni, which could reach 18 meters in length. Its legs were modified into hydrodynamic flippers, with the front ones being larger than the back ones. The skull was strongly built as the jaw hinged very tightly against it. It had a broad, barrel-shaped body, and with its large eyes, poor binocular vision, and poorly developed olfactory bulbs, experts believe Mosasaurus lived near the surface of the ocean, where it fed on fish, turtles, ammonites, and possibly other mosasaurs. Its jaws were armed with large, sharp, conical teeth. Its limbs, in the form of fins, had 5 digits on the front and 4 on the back. The trunk ended in a strong tail equipped with a fin at its end, serving as the main means of locomotion in the water, more so than its fins. The mosasaur was the fastest predatory reptile and the best adapted to the aquatic environment. This gigantic croc would have easily beaten a megalodon. Number 18. Temnodontosaurus. Temnodontosaurus is a genus of ichthyosaurs from the early Jurassic that lived between 198 to 185 million years ago in what is now England and Germany. In the 1980s, a fossil of the species was found in Mantos Blancos, Antofagasta, Chile, and identified as Temnodontosaurus, overturning the belief that they were exclusive to European coasts. Temnodontosaurus were large animals, with some reaching up to 12 meters in length and possessing great muscular strength. They were highly skilled coastal predators with the right figure to catch fast prey, a long snout, barrel-shaped body, and a tail with 2 powerful lobes. The eyes of Temnodontosaurus could measure 20 centimeters in diameter, making them among the largest known vertebrates. Despite the impressive size of its eyes, Temnodontosaurus had blind spots on its head due to the angle at which its eyes were arranged. They were great swimmers, very resilient, and could descend to deep areas of the Jurassic seas to capture their prey. So, given all this information, it's safe to say that even though Temnodontosaurus was significantly smaller than the gigantic shark, it was mind-blowingly fast and agile. This would have been a very interesting fight to witness, power versus speed. Number 17. Ichthyosaur. The ichthyosaurs, meaning fish lizards, are an extinct order of ichthyopterygians and sauropsids which lived from the lower Triassic to the upper Cretaceous, approximately 245 to 90 million years ago, in what is now America, Europe, and Asia. While dinosaurs ruled the land, the ichthyosaurs ruled the seas of the world, with many other great groups of large marine reptiles. Ichthyosaurs were large, and although they looked like fish and dolphins, they weren't. During the Triassic, they evolved from a yet unidentified terrestrial reptile that returned to the water in a process analogous to that which dolphins and whales must have undergone. They were especially abundant in the Jurassic period until they were replaced by the plesiosaurs, a more dominant aquatic predator in the Cretaceous. It has been estimated that ichthyosaurs could swim at speeds of up to 40 kilometers an hour. Ichthyosaurs fed primarily on an ancient type of cephalopod distantly related to squid, called belemnites. Some early ichthyosaurs had teeth adapted for crushing mollusks. They probably also fed on fish, and some of the larger species with large jaws and teeth fed on smaller reptiles. Ichthyosaurs were so varied in size and survived for so long that they probably had a wide range of prey. Typical ichthyosaurs had very large eyes protected by a bony ring, suggesting that they may have hunted at night. Number 16. Helicoprion. When they first found a fossil of the jaw of this strange creature, scientists thought it was some kind of snail. Imagine the surprise when they realized there was a huge shark attached to it. Helicoprion is an animal of the chimeriform genus, to which 47 species of cartilaginous fish belong. Their strange teeth were the only bones they had in their bodies, so it's the only part that fossilized, while the cartilage of the rest of the body degraded over time. Based on other fish fossils of the same order, scientists were able to deduce the shape of the Helicoprion, which they estimated must have been between 3 and 4 meters long. Most importantly, they also placed the spiral in its correct location in the body. Their bizarre-looking spiral contains some 109 teeth, but only in the lower jaw. The curious consequence of this spiral is the way in which the animal shed its teeth. Instead of falling out and growing new ones, they developed at one end of the spiral, one after the other, pushing the rest into the cartilaginous jaw as they were worn away to be reabsorbed. When closing its teeth on prey, the jaw hit against the solid palate, and the geometry of the dental pieces pushed the prey toward the interior of the mouth. The tips of the teeth traced curved paths into the mouth when the jaw closed. This had the added advantage that constantly opening and closing the mouth produced a saw effect. In other words, this creature made minced meat of any prey it caught. Now it's time for today's topic. Off the coast of Australia, an experienced fisherman captured what may be the most terrifying and baffling image ever seen at sea. While casting his line in familiar waters, he noticed a massive, dark shadow moving beneath his boat. At first, he thought it might be a large school of fish, but as the shadow grew closer, it became clear that this was no ordinary marine creature. He quickly grabbed his camera and snapped a photo just as the enormous dorsal fin broke the surface. What he had unknowingly captured was a creature believed to be a long-extinct predator, what many are calling the red Megalodon. This ancient shark, rumored to be even larger and more dangerous than the Megalodon, is thought to have roamed the oceans millions of years ago. The creature in the photograph appears to be much larger than any known shark species, with its fin alone towering above the boat. Marine biologists are stunned and puzzled by the image, questioning whether the red Megalodon could still exist in the unexplored depths of the ocean. Some scientists speculate that this enormous predator may have been able to survive due to environmental changes in the deep sea. Could it be possible that a creature once thought extinct is still lurking in the oceans? This photo has reignited the debate and left experts scrambling for answers. Number 15. The Bluntnose Sixgill Shark. The Hexanchus griseus is a species of shark from the Hexanchid family, measuring up to 6.1 meters in length, making it the largest in this family. It inhabits great depths in tropical and temperate waters around the world. Its 6 gill openings on each side of the head, positioned closer to each other in the frontal area, indicate that it is indeed a very primitive shark, as the more evolved shark species have only 5 gill openings. It has a robust body and a wide, flattened head with a short, rounded face. The mouth, frontal and rounded, has teeth in 1 row on the upper jaw and 6 rows in the lower jaw, shaped like a hair comb. Its eyes are large, elliptical, and greenish, full of life and without a nictitating membrane. Anterior to the mouth, it has a backward dorsal fin close to the caudal fin. Its color is grayish-brown or greenish, with a paler belly and dark fins, allowing it to blend in with the dark waters of the deep. It feeds on fish, crustaceans, and other sharks and may also exhibit scavenging habits. The most interesting aspect of this shark is its uncanny resemblance to prehistoric marine predators. However, very little is known about these magnificent animals. It's not considered a dangerous species for humans. The few recorded attacks have occurred only after previous provocation. In fact, since the 1500s, only 1 attack has been documented. Its meat is marketed fresh or frozen for consumption, though it's considered semi-toxic due to its strong laxative effects, and it's also used for oil production and fish feeding. Number 14. Great white sharks. Megatoothed sharks, like the Megalodon, lived between 23 and 3.6 million years ago in oceans around the world, possibly reaching up to 20 meters in length. By comparison, today's largest great white sharks reach a length of about 6 meters. Many factors have been discussed to explain the gigantism and extinction of the Megalodon, with diet and dietary competition often considered key. According to the Max Planck Institute, new scientific research sheds light on this, as scientists analyze the stable isotope ratios of zinc in modern and fossil shark teeth from around the world, including those of Megalodon and ancient and modern great white sharks. This new method allowed scientists to investigate an animal's trophic level, which indicates its place in the food chain. The results suggest at least some overlap in the prey of both the Megalodon and ancient great white sharks. While additional research is needed, the findings support the possibility of dietary competition between these two predators in the early Pliocene era. In other words, both species were competing for the same prey, but the great white shark was more effective at hunting it, contributing to the Megalodon's extinction. So, it seems that, even among predators, bigger and stronger isn't always better. Number 13. Tylosaurus. Tylosaurus, from the Greek tylus, protuberance, and saurus, lizard, is an extinct genus of Mosasaurid, a group of large marine predators closely related to modern monitor lizards and snakes. Along with plesiosaurs, sharks, fish, and other mosasaur genera, it was one of the dominant predators in the western interior sea during the late Cretaceous. Tylosaurus proriger was among the largest of all mosasaurs, with the largest specimens reaching lengths of 12.8 to 13.7 meters. A distinctive feature of Tylosaurus is its elongated, cylindrical snout, from which it gets its name, and which it may have used to ram and stun its prey or for intraspecific combat. In other words, this animal used its powerful snout to destroy anything in its way. Stomach contents associated with Tylosaurus specimens indicate that this ferocious mosasaur had a varied diet, including fish, sharks, smaller mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, and flightless seabirds. By many accounts, these animals are considered among the deadliest hunters of the ancient seas, ferocious and always ready to kill with their jaws of death, lined with not one but two rows of razor-sharp teeth. Number 12. Leopluradon. Leopluradon was a large carnivorous marine reptile of the extinct suborder of short-necked plesiosaurs, known as Pliosauroidea. All described species of Leopluradon lived about 160 million years ago during the Calovian to Tithonian ages. They roamed the depths of European seas in the late Jurassic period, attacking unsuspecting prey from the darkest waters. This plesiosaur was the number one predator in the European seas of the Jurassic period. They lived around the same time as dinosaurs and were among the largest plesiosaurs ever recorded, ranking at the top of the marine food chain. A ferocious predator, Leopluradon preyed on prehistoric fish, smaller plesiosaurs, ichthyosaurs, sharks, and other aquatic reptiles. Its elongated skull reached 1.5 meters in length and was attached to muscles that allowed it to bite with immense force, easily crushing the bones of any animal. Its deadly jaws, lined with long conical teeth, twice as many as possessed by Tyrannosaurus, could crush through prey. It swam with its jaws open, allowing water to flow through its nostrils at the top of its mouth. As the water exited through the nasal openings near its eyes, it could smell the scent of prey in the water. Terrifying, right? For huge fins propelled this massive creature through the water, allowing it to accelerate rapidly while stalking prey. Number 11. Scissor-toothed shark. This is a type of prehistoric shark that lived during the late Carboniferous period, some 300 million years ago. Bones of this species were first discovered in the mid-19th century. Joseph Leidy eventually named it Adestus, which means to devour, in 1855. Its name is also a reference to the strange qualities and size of the teeth in this genus. The largest species, E. heinrichi, has been conservatively estimated to be greater than 20 feet in length, weighing about 2 tons, a size comparable to that of the largest great white sharks. Like its relatives, such as Helicoprion, and unlike modern sharks, Adestus species develop their teeth in curved structures or fronds. In the case of Adestus, only one row of teeth appeared in the middle of each jaw, giving it the appearance of a scissor-toothed shark. The degree of curvature and size of these toothed bottoms varied across species. The upper and lower blades of teeth squeezed together, with the lower blades sliding back toward the throat, effectively cutting prey in half. The bite and cut technique of Adestus has never been seen before. Imagining Adestus in action would certainly inspire terrifying depictions of a predator in the deep. Its jaw appears to have been developed primarily for rapidly and fatally amputating prey, snapping it in half and presumably catching the falling pieces after the victim had been subdued. Number 10. Sarcosuchus. In a video about terrifying aquatic creatures, the Sarcosuchus can't be forgotten. It has been dubbed the super croc, and for good reason. This is not the kind of beast you'd want to bump into, that is, if you appreciate being alive. This giant crocodile lived in rivers, and its scientific name, Sarcosuchus imperator, means emperor of flesh. It measured at least 12 meters and weighed 10 tons, between 10 and 15 times larger than the largest current crocodiles. In addition to its impressive dimensions, Sarcosuchus stands out for a huge bulge at the end of its snout, which scientists jokingly say looks like a large toilet, and a long lifespan. The bulbous end of its snout contained a cavity that could give it a greater sense of smell and enable unusual vocalizations. Its eye sockets were angled upwards, allowing it to hide underwater while searching for prey. This animal was very dominant, it must have given dinosaurs nightmares. Sarcosuchus was likely the stockiest carnivore of its time, capable of ambushing dinosaurs and devouring them. The teeth of its lower jaw meshed with those of the upper jaw instead of crossing each other as in animals that eat only fish. They had more than 100 teeth, including a row of large incisors capable of chewing bone, which allowed them to devour meat like that of a dinosaur. Number 9. Orca. The orca is the largest of the dolphins, which means they have the immense intelligence of the playful dolphin combined with extreme physical superiority, an interesting combination. While a female usually weighs less than 4 tons and is around 6 meters long, an adult male can reach a weight of 5.5 tons and measure up to 8 meters in length. Individuals of the species form complex social structures and organize themselves into matrilineal groups, meaning that descent is defined by the maternal line. To facilitate socialization, they use a highly sophisticated method of communication. Orcas have a reputation for being fearsome predators, capable of killing other large carnivores, such as the white shark, and at the same time for being gentle, intelligent animals capable of bonding affectionately with humans in captivity if treated with care. Orcas are an enigma. They are gorgeous yet immensely powerful. When it comes to who would win, a megalodon or an orca, the answer is clear. The orcas, mainly because they're infinitely more intelligent and never far from their pods. They're capable of orchestrating complex ambush attacks due to their evolved way of communicating. One orca versus a megalodon? The shark would most likely win, but against an entire pod? No chance. Number 8. Tyus Mortoni. This species of ancient shark was one of the most specialized sharks of the late Cretaceous ocean waters. Unlike other sharks, this species did not hunt flesh but preferred shells. Their teeth were perfectly adapted for crushing hard shells rather than tearing through flesh and bone. Thus, the Tyus Mortoni's teeth were quite rounded rather than the triangular, pointed shape we're used to seeing. Their teeth also had a series of ridges across the surface of the crown to increase bite pressure along the length of their edges. This structure was perfect for holding onto smooth-shelled shellfish while simultaneously focusing bite pressure toward key areas of the shell. Of course, these were not your modern-day shellfish. They were absolutely gigantic. Tyus mortoni was a shark initially believed to be about 10 meters long, though this might be a slight overestimate. They were very large sharks, and while they weren't built to go after other dangerous animals, it would have been a massive mistake to annoy them or try attacking them. Number 7. Tusateuthis. Tusateuthis, meaning crushing squid, is a dubious extinct genus of large, cuttlefish-like cephalopods that lived during the Cretaceous period. Although often called a squid, it's now thought to be more closely related to modern octopuses. Examination of Gladius remains has yielded an estimated mantle length close to or equal to that of the modern giant squid, which is about 13 meters. Possible remains have been found in parts of the ancient North American Western Interior Seaway, including late Cretaceous rocks in Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, and the province of Manitoba. Tusateuthis presumably fed on other cephalopods, fish, and possibly even small marine reptiles. It was also preyed upon by other animals, especially the many diverse predatory fish of the Western Interior Seaway. Their beak-like organ, also present in modern-day squids, was tough enough to pierce an opponent's skin. Because they didn't have many bones in their bodies, we don't have a way of learning much about these gigantic creatures. However, given the behavior of modern-day squid and octopuses, it's very plausible that this animal could have easily terrorized prehistoric oceans. Number 6. Odus. Odus obliquus is an extinct species of large lamniform elasmobranch in the family Odontidae, which lived during the Paleocene and Eocene, between 45 and 55 million years ago. The species is known for its fossil teeth and fossilized vertebrae. As with all elasmobranchs, the skeleton of Odus was made of cartilage rather than bone, so they rarely fossilize. However, their teeth are often found in relatively high densities in the Moroccan fossil beds. These teeth, up to 10 centimeters long and triangular with an apex diverging laterally, suggest that Odus's diet likely consisted of marine mammals, fish, and other sharks. According to many paleontologists, Odus obliquus is the original ancestor of the largest predatory shark that ever lived, Carcharocles megalodon. However, another school of thought suggests that C. Megalodon was actually a descendant of Carcharodon orientalis, which would make it the predecessor of the modern great white shark, Carcharodon carcharias. Both views are appealing, but the evidence shows some weaknesses, so caution is advised when classifying C. Megalodon in the same genus as the modern great white shark. This has led to its recent reclassification to reflect mounting evidence that Odus obliquus was probably the ancestor of C. Megalodon. Because Odus and the Megalodon never coexisted, it's difficult to know who would have won in a battle. Number 5. Hiatus. Hiatus, which is Greek for hump tooth, is an extinct genus of shark that first appeared toward the end of the Permian period and disappeared at the beginning of the late Cretaceous, for reasons still unknown. During the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods, members of this genus were especially successful and could be found in the areas of ancient shallow seas worldwide. Hiatus measured about 2 meters in length and is believed to have been an opportunistic predator. Notably, its jaw structure allowed it to adapt to a wide variety of prey types, making it highly versatile in its feeding habits. It wasn't very big, but had the classic shape of a shark, featuring 2 dorsal fins that helped it target its prey with precision. This shark had several features that made it stand out from other primitive sharks. First, it had 2 different types of teeth, suggesting a varied diet. The sharper teeth likely caught slippery prey, while the flatter teeth probably helped crush shelled animals. Furthermore, its ability to hunt both in open water and near the seabed highlights how it thrived in diverse environments. Additionally, it had a bony plate on its dorsal fin, likely serving a defensive function. Although it wasn't a true opponent for the massive Megalodon, both were types of carnivorous predatorial ancient sharks, each dominating different time periods in Earth's history. Number 4. Squalicorax. Squalicorax is an extinct genus of lamniform shark that lived during the late Cretaceous period. The name Squalicorax comes from the Latin term squalis, meaning shark, and the Greek corax, meaning raven or crow. This shark had the typical shape of a shark and measured up to 5 meters, averaging around 2 meters. Numerous fossils of its teeth have been found in Europe, North Africa, and various parts of North America. Its teeth had serrated edges, perfect for slicing through flesh and bone, much like a modern-day great white shark. It was a coastal predator but also a scavenger, as evidenced by Squalicorax teeth found within the metatarsal, foot bone, of a hadrosaurid dinosaur that most likely died on land and ended up offshore. Additionally, Squalicorax teeth have been found alongside fossils of other marine creatures, suggesting it feasted on various carcasses that drifted out to sea. Aside from that, Squalicorax also likely hunted mosasaurs, turtles, and bony fish such as Xiphactinus. If this creature was powerful enough to prey on mosasaurs, it was one of the deadliest predators in the sea. It likely filled a niche as a mid-level predator, keeping populations of smaller marine animals in check. Number 3. Cretoxorhina mantelli. This magnificent beast was one of the largest sharks and a formidable predator during the late Cretaceous period, between 100 to 82 million years ago. This species was nicknamed the Ginsu Shark, after the kitchen knife that slices and dices, so you can imagine how incredibly sharp its teeth must have been. The Ginsu Shark is among the best understood fossil sharks to date, with various preserved specimens revealing a wealth of information about the physical characteristics and lifestyle of these ancient predatory sharks. Fossil teeth of C. mantelli are more than 7 centimeters long, curved, and smooth-edged with a thick layer of enamel. The Ginsu Shark had 34 teeth in its upper jaw and 36 in its lower jaw. It's believed that these teeth were specially adapted for slicing through bone and cartilage, making it a lethal predator. C. mantelli grew up to 7 meters in length and rivaled the extant great white shark, Carcharodon carcharias, in size. It likely hunted large marine reptiles, fish, and possibly even other sharks, given its size and strength. Its body shape closely resembled that of the modern great white shark. The Ginsu Shark's robust, stocky build, powerful kinetic jaws, and potential for fast swimming make it highly likely that it hunted in a similar style, with single fatal blows to its prey. Number 2. Basking Shark, Bloop. 2 ginormous sharks with entirely different temperaments and lifestyles. While one no longer exists, the other is the living second-largest fish on the planet. Megalodon and Basking Sharks, who would have won in a battle? The former was the largest shark to have ever existed, while Basking Sharks are the second-largest modern-day sharks. Both are fascinating predators with nearly opposite techniques. The prehistoric beast was a vicious carnivore, ready to tear its prey's flesh apart in a feeding frenzy, while the Basking Shark is a filter feeder and incredibly calm and passive. There's no question who would win, right? However, the Basking Shark has some impressive features of its own. With its enormous mouth, it can filter thousands of liters of water each hour, all while moving gracefully and slowly through the ocean. This gentle giant can migrate vast distances, often traveling from coastal to open ocean areas for food. Surely, if you were swimming in the sea and saw a 9-meter-long beast approaching, fear would paralyze you. But don't worry, the Basking Shark would never harm you. It occupies its own family, Cetorhinidae, where it is the only species. The Basking Shark is a magnificent animal, reaching an average length of between 7 and 8.5 meters, and, exceptionally, between 9 and 11 meters. Number 1. The blue whale. The blue whale is the largest animal ever known on planet Earth. Yes, even bigger than the prehistoric dinosaurs. Picture a 10-story tall animal walking down the street, and you might start imagining Godzilla or King Kong. Now, imagine it as a marine mammal swimming sideways. Now you have the blue whale, Balænoptera musculus. The blue whale is so large that even at birth, it's one of the largest animals in the world. They are gigantic, usually 24 to 30 meters long, with the longest ever recorded at 108 feet, about 33 meters. These gentle giants weigh up to 200 tons, or about 441,000 pounds. They travel extensively, spending their summers feeding in polar regions and making a long trek to the equator in the winter. Blue whales have a unique feeding mechanism called lunge feeding, which involves gulping in a massive amount of water and filtering out krill through their baleen plates. Despite their size, they primarily eat tiny crustaceans, consuming up to 4 tons of krill daily during feeding season. Their vocalizations are equally impressive. They communicate through deep, rumbling calls that can be heard hundreds of miles away. Though they cruise at a speed of 8 kilometers per hour, they can accelerate to 32 kilometers per hour when necessary. These majestic creatures are not aggressive in the slightest, but if you mess with them, they can and will fight back. The Megalodon was a powerful predator, granted, but it would have had nothing against a pod of ginormous blue whales. What about you? Which one of these gigantic beasts fascinates you the most? Tell us about it in the comments. Also, check out our other cool videos appearing on screen right now. See you next time.